Hi, and welcome to For the Love of Yoga. My name is Anika. In previous episodes, we have looked at how yoga can help in many ways and how traditionally it was really about working with the mind, using postural aspects to keep the body healthy, but also working with the breath and focusing the mind. Within the physical practice of yoga, there are many different styles, some moving, some static, some more body-focused, and some more meditative. This could mean, for example, working with flowing sequences or holding postures for extended periods of time. In today's episode, we will be looking at ways of working the back and how to strengthen the body. I am very happy to be joined by Allie Hill. Allie is the founder of Yoga Haven, with studios in London, Birmingham and Brighton. Yoga Haven teachers will also join us on the 23rd of July for the Brighton Yoga Festival at the Brighton Dome Corn Exchange. Welcome, Allie. So many people may have heard of Yoga Haven and may have heard of you before as well. Could you tell us how you first got into yoga yourself?
Yeah, so I started practicing yoga in the 90s. I'd been leading a very hedonistic lifestyle, living in Japan for 5 years, burning the candle at both ends until I really got burnt out. So I started searching for something. I didn't really know what that was. But I know that I needed a healthier way of living and a healthier lifestyle. So I moved from Japan to Sydney in Australia. And I joined a local gym where they had yoga on the timetable. And I wasn't necessarily drawn to take the yoga classes, but I thought, oh, it's on the timetable. I'm paying for my membership. I'll give it a go. So I went along, and literally after about 3 classes, I got hooked on it. It had this profound effect on me, where I felt this sense of clarity and this sense of calm in a way that I'd never really experienced before. So I was like, okay, I need to share this magical thing that I found with everybody. And how am I going to do that? I need to find a way to design my life around it. And that's exactly what I did. And I've never looked back. I opened Yoga Haven in Brighton in 2003, and then it just evolved very organically from there with my 6 studios across the country.
Wow. And how did you get into teaching, and what style did you start off with? So when you first started practicing and then going on into teaching, was there a particular style that you worked with?
Yeah, the style that I originally did was in a hot room.
Okay.
And I really loved practicing in the heat. But after teaching that for a little while, I realized that people really like variety and that you have to cater to all sorts of people. So over the years, I've done many different trainings. And my company, Yoga Haven, offers hot yoga still to this day, but we also offer lots of different styles of yoga. So traditional styles, contemporary styles, and of course our hot yoga. Personally, the recent practice that I've trained in is something called Jivamukti Yoga. Mm-hmm. This was a wonderful experience that I had in New York. They go very in-depth into philosophy, which really suits me at this stage in my yoga career as a teacher, and also really this stage in my life. So that's what I currently teach quite a lot of, as well as teaching some hot vinyasa classes. And I believe that every good teacher should keep studying, and that's something that I try and instill with the students that I teach on my Yoga Haven teacher training courses. So I'm very fortunate to have been running yoga teacher training for the past 10 years. It's a part of my job that I absolutely love, and I always say to them, you know, when you finish this course, don't stop here, go and take more courses, learn more, because you can never know enough, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
So there's a variety of styles that you draw some inspiration from, and Jivamukti, like you said, focusing on that a little bit more. Yeah. And have you had a variety of students come to you over the years? Because I think most people have a little bit of an idea of what a yoga person looks like, and the idea that it's really open to everyone is not in people's minds so much. So what's your experience with?
You know, it always really surprises me, the variety of people that you get coming to yoga classes. Like, over the years I've taught, you know, athletes, like elite athletes, but I've also taught people that maybe have never done any form of physical exertion at all. So that proves that it really is for everybody. On a Wednesday night, I have a lovely guy called Malcolm who comes to my classes. He's 74, stiff as a board, but he gets so much out of it, and I personally find that very inspiring. And I think that shows that it doesn't matter what age you are, what shape or size that you are, that everybody can do yoga. I will say that finding the right class and the right teacher can greatly contribute to the enjoyment of the practice. So, you know, that might take a little bit of research, but once you find the right teacher and the style for you, you'll know.
And you don't necessarily have to be fit, flexible, like you said. Example of Malcolm. Maybe say hello to Malcolm at home if he's watching. So anybody can really practice, and there's a style for everyone.
Yeah, I think there's a misconception actually around flexibility in yoga. Perhaps people think they have to be really, really flexible in order to do yoga, and actually that's not the case. Interestingly, somebody asked me recently, in the 10 years, 15 years that you've been involved in the yoga industry, what's the greatest change that you've seen? And that would be social media, as I'm sure it is in many businesses. And if you look at yoga teachers on social media these days, it's very much about wrapping your leg around your head, standing on two hands upside down, and potentially for a beginner, that's very intimidating and could put somebody off trying yoga. But it's not about that. It's so much more than that. It helps you de-stress, it helps with your moods, it calms your nervous system, it aids digestion, so many things, and you benefit from that without having to wrap your leg around your head. So it's really not about how flexible you are. And I would say that actually the less flexible you are, the more benefit you're going to gain.
Well, I would agree with that. So if you had to choose a particular aspect of yoga, could you choose? Is there a particular aspect that you would think is most important or is more important than others, maybe? Or do you see it as a whole package? What are your thoughts on?
I mean, I think that at different stages in my yoga journey, personally anyway, it evolves in a very different way, and what I liked at the beginning is very different from what I like now. If I'd gone to my very first class and it was a Jiva Mukti class with a lot of chanting, I probably would never have gone back. But I started off in a hot room and it was very much on the physical practice, and that's what I enjoyed at that time. And now I get more out of the philosophy and learning actually about the way that I live my life in a more conscious way. And go into the roots of the yoga as opposed to pulling out a couple of physical postures. So that's how it's evolved for me.
I think it's really important to understand for the viewers at home as well, who maybe have not had a big experience or any experience of yoga, that there's so many different aspects to it. And a lot of times we talk about the physical practice, and the physical practice is obviously very important, and it draws people in, like you said. You were drawn in by the physical practice. Much so. But there's also other aspects which may appeal to some of the viewers who are less physical. And at the same time, movement is still really important. So today, for example, looking at the physical practice again, we're going to focus on strengthening the body, back strengthening, is that correct? And core? So in your teaching experience, have you had a lot of success with people with maybe back problems? Have you seen a lot of changes in people?
Yeah, I think that I actually read a really interesting article in a medical journal recently, and it said 60 to 80% of the population in the UK will suffer from back pain at some point in their life. And I believe that's down to all the hours that we spend sitting. So whether that's sitting at an office desk or long car journeys, sitting over your laptop, we're all on our iPhones all the time. The body was never built, the spine. It wasn't meant to be slouching over in this position. And when you sit for long periods of time like that, your core gets very weak. And when your core is weak, you can't have the spinal support that you need. And there's a lot of strain on your spine as well. So The core and the spine are very important, and that's why I chose that 10-minute sequence. If you think of the core like the volume switch for the entire body, and the arms and the legs and the extremities being like the amplifier, if you turn the volume switch up, everything else gets strengthened. So if you've constantly got a weak core, your back hasn't got the support, and therefore we're going to end up with problems. The biggest difference that I see is people coming to classes and asking me, things for their back pain. And as long as they're diligent and consistent, that's where you see the improvement. If you only do it, once a week and you're trying to strengthen your back, it's not really going to work. So being consistent with the practice is really important.
So I'm looking forward to the practice that you're going to teach us. You can join in at home, as always. Feel free to join in at home. And maybe get ready, make a little bit of space in your living room, make a little bit of space for the practice that Allie's about to teach.
So the areas that I'm targeting today is for the core and strengthening the spine. So we begin by lying down on our backs. Draw both feet into the air, lower ribs in, bellies in, and bring your fingertips to your ears. Inhale, and as you exhale, drop your right leg towards the floor. To make it a little bit easier, you can pop the foot on the floor, or if you want to make it more challenging, then keep the foot off the floor. So again, lower ribs in, breathe in. As you breathe out, lift up. You can either hold it here, or to make it more dynamic, start pulsing towards your top foot. Squeezing in the core muscle so the back stays on the floor, lifting the chest towards the foot, noticing that I'm not really moving my head around too much. I'm keeping the head fairly still. Squeezing in the belly. One more time, lifting up, and then release your head down. Inhale your right leg up, and then release your left leg down to the floor. Again, resting the foot off the floor or letting it stay on the floor if you want to make it a little bit easier. Breathe in. As you breathe out, lift the upper body off the floor, squeeze the stomach muscles in. Inhale, exhale, and pulsing towards that top foot. Keeping the tummy muscles tight, not moving the head too much. Lifting the chest, keeping the back on the floor. Exhaling as you lift up. 2 more times. And then release the head. Inhale the left leg back up and exhale both knees into your chest. Take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. And then raise both legs up into the air, flexing the feet. Fingertips come to the ears again. Tummy muscles in, lower ribs down, breathe in. And as you breathe out, lifting the head and shoulders up off the floor. And again, either holding it here or 10 little pulses toward your toes. Squeeze the stomach muscles tight, so we're really targeting those core muscles as you lift the chest up towards the ceiling, remembering not to jerk your head around too much. Allow all the work to happen at the core muscles. 3 more times, 2 more times, and the last one. And then dropping the knees towards the chest, take a deep breath in, hugging your arms around your knees, and a full breath out. Okay, the next one I call bicycle yoga. We're going to target the sides of the body. So these are the obliques. Bring your fingertips to your ears. Inhale. As you exhale, lifting the head and shoulders off the floor. Inhale the left leg away from you. Exhale the left elbow towards the right knee. Inhale back to center, and then exhale in the opposite direction. Inhale to center. Exhale left elbow, right knee. Inhale center. Exhale, right elbow, left knee. Inhale, center. Keep it going, squeezing the stomach muscles in. As you exhale, really feeling the side of the body, the side of the abdominals. Lifting the chest up off the floor. One more side. And then come back to the center and release the knees in towards the chest. Again, a deep breath into the belly. And a full breath out. And then take your hands underneath the back of the knees, and we're going to rock and roll up a few times. So as you inhale, you're rocking up, and as you exhale, you rock back. Inhale, rocking up, exhale, rocking back, until you come all the way up to sitting. So now you want to lift your chest up. So imagine I'm pulling your breastbone up on a piece of string. So the chest is lifted and the back is nice and long. Lift your feet off the floor, either holding the back of the knees, which gives you a little bit more support, or if you want to make it more challenging, releasing the arms alongside the body, making sure your back's nice and upright. Squeeze the stomach muscles in as we hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Cross your feet, step back into downward facing dog. So we're coming upside down, like an upside down V shape, releasing the spine towards the thighs. To make it a little bit easier, in the beginning, if you're quite round, bend your knees, push your hips up towards the ceiling, and then relax the chest down. So bending the knees will allow you to straighten your spine more. Over time, the legs become straight. Breathe in here, relax the chest down as you breathe out. And then we inhale forward into the plank position. So squeeze the stomach muscles in, set your shoulders down and back, and we're going to hold it here, really drawing in the core muscles. Good, keep squeezing the shoulder blades towards one another. Keep squeezing the stomach muscles in, holding it for one more breath. And then dropping the right knee to the floor. Side plank, Vashisthasana, you want your right wrist underneath your right shoulder and then turn the left toes out. Hips forward, squeeze the stomach muscles in and then inhale the left arm into the air. So you can hold it here, or again, to make it more challenging, you just cross your right ankle over your left ankle and you try and hold it here. Look up if you want the extra challenge, looking towards your thumb for 3, 2, and 1. Release your left hand down and we simply do the other side. Left knee to the floor, left wrist under left shoulder, turn the right toes out, and inhale the right arm up. Squeeze the stomach muscles in to make it more challenging, just crossing your left ankle over your right ankle, maybe looking up if you want that extra challenge. Holding it here, tummy muscles tight, so we really target that core area, and then come back down onto all fours. Okay, so now we're going to work a little bit into flexibility and strength of the spine. So inhale, lift your chest, look up towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, round the back, sucking the stomach muscles in. As you breathe in, lift the tail, lift the sit bones, shoulders down and back, and exhale, round the back, squeeze the tummy muscles in. Inhale, dropping the belly, looking up. Exhaling, flexing and extending your spine, getting lots of mobility into the spine with this one. Good, squeeze the belly in. And then come back to a neutral spine. So from here, take your left leg out to the back of the room and inhale your right arm forward. Tummy muscles tight, keep your eyes still on one spot to help you balance. Set that shoulder down and back. Hold it here for 3, for 2, and 1. Releasing the right foot down, right hand down. Inhale, right arm up, left arm up. Inhale, exhale, hold it here. Good, breathe in, squeeze the stomach muscles in. Holding it here as you stretch in opposite directions. And then release. Good, from here, again, curl the toes under, back into downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank position, drop the knees and lower your body all the way down to the floor. Okay, so Bhujangasana, the Cobra pose. Very little weight in your hands. Inhale, lift your chest up off the floor. Try and feel the lower back muscles working for you. Shoulders down and back, suck the stomach muscles in. Good, holding it here. Just lifting the chest up off the floor, using those lumbar muscles. So we're strengthening our lower back. And then slowly come back down. Take the arms out to the side. And then as you inhale, you're lifting your arms, your legs, and your chest off the floor. Holding it here, squeezing the tummy muscles in. This is targeting the center of the spine as we lift everything off the floor, using our own body weight against gravity to strengthen the muscles of the back. And then slowly come back down. From here, we're going to roll over onto our back and finish with our bridge pose. So you want your feet hip width apart, the heels in line with your hips, arms alongside your body. Suck the stomach muscles in. Inhale, and as you exhale, start to scoop the pelvis off the floor, and then inhale, lift the rib cage and chest up off the floor. So you can keep your palms alongside your body or interlace your hands underneath your back, drawing your knees together like you're holding a balloon. Breathe in, breathe out. Good, one more breath. And release your hands, release your upper body down onto the floor. Good. And that's the end of our 10-minute sequence today, targeting the core and the lower back.
If you would like to strengthen your core, some of the postures Ali just worked with were boat posture, balancing on your sitting bones, either holding the backs of your legs or with the arms extended either side. Downward dog, maybe gently drawing in the lower abdomen with your out-breath, softening the knees if necessary. Plank posture, being mindful of our lower backs and only holding it as long as we can maintain the breath. Easy side plank posture, transferring the weight into one hand and keeping the knee down as we open the front of the body. Balancing table posture, alternating lifting left arm and right leg, then right arm and left leg, arm to shoulder level and leg to hip level. And lastly, Cobra posture, lifting on the in-breath, making sure we use the strength of our backs instead of our upper body strength, so no pushing through the hands. I hope you enjoyed the practice. Don't forget the Brighton Yoga Festival on the 23rd of July at the Brighton Dome Corn Exchange, and join me again for another episode of For the Love of Yoga.